Welcome back to episode 101 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Myself and Kyle are here today, and we are going to put a bow on this 2024 MLB season. But before I get to how you're doing today, I just have one thing to do.
I knew it.
Dodgers have won the World Series, in case you haven't heard. For the 8th time in franchise history, they've done it. I'm listen. I'm so happy right now. We're gonna get into it. The parade was on Monday. The parade was on Friday. The final game was on Wednesday. I'm still on a high right now. Like you can't. Again, I've said this again. No woman can replicate the feeling that I had Wednesday night when the Dodgers won, and on Friday in front of all the people in Los Angeles. However, this is not all about me today. I have to ask Kyle, how are you doing today?
Man. Baseball wise, it's not great. Obviously, my team just lost the World Series. Um, but other than that, we'll kind of stay a little bit positive here. Uh, this is your episode, Bella. You do what you got to do, man. Um, moved into the new house like I said last week, and I'm married. It's all good, man. Um, Obviously, it sucks. Yankees lost. It You kind of asked me this a little bit beforehand, and I kind of like gave it a little bit of notion here. I knew it after game one. I kind of hinted at it last week too. That loss was too devastating, and that's exactly what happened. So, Mello, instead of me asking you how you're doing, because everybody in the world now knows, um,
Fucking right.
I'm going to let you take the complete lead into this, and we're going to recap the World Series, put a bow on it, and then kind of just go over a little bit of things that have happened so far in free agency. So, Mello, I have no thoughts on this. The Yankees just shit the bed. I knew it after game one. So, I will 100%. The floor is yours. All you, man. Go ahead.
You know, yeah, I can't honestly like I can't believe that they actually did it. I really can't, and I apologize if I get a little emotional here in the next couple minutes. I'm gonna do my best to try and stay level headed here, but I got a lot of shit talking to do today. I do, but not to Kyle, obviously not to him, but you know, even like I said, they won the game Wednesday, and I'm there Friday at the stadium, and I'm looking around like they actually fucking did it. Are like seriously? Like I can't believe that they actually did it. I've been telling myself that for the last couple days now, and um, finally, finally, you can put that 2020 crap to bed. Mickey Mouse ring, all of that shit. We did the thing that nobody thought we could do: win a World Series again in a full 162, and they just did that. Um, it sucks though because listen, I understand the Dodgers are going to be very good again next year. And, we can talk about repeat a little bit later. I'm not ready to do that right now. I still want to enjoy this for the next couple days or weeks. But the we don't give a F Dodgers, the not like us Dodgers that kind of went on this run to a championship. I'm never going to see that again. I'm not like obviously they can easily win again, the next couple years, but the 2024 Dodgers, you're not going to see that again. You're not like it's going to be very different next year. I'm not saying like the core of the team is still going to be the same, but this was a very special Dodger team. And for me, this 2024 Dodger team is up there with all-time favorite Dodgers. They're in you know, I'm really considering putting them out of all the Dodger teams that I've seen in my lifetime. I am very close to putting them number 1. over the 2020 Dodgers, over the 2017 Dodgers that felt like they were never going to lose, they were going to win the World Series. Obviously, they got cheated out of it, but again, that's a conversation for another day. Um, I am so happy for everybody in that organization. I'm happy for the fans. I know you probably saw tons of pictures and videos. There was a ton of people at the parade, at the rally celebration at Dodger Stadium on Friday. That was 36 years in the making right there. I've seen parades with the Lakers and the Kings. I'm not a Rams fan, but the Rams had one 2 years ago. What the Dodgers were able to do Friday, never seen anything like that before in my lifetime. That is so much built up frustration, and you heard it too from a lot of the players the other night when they won on Wednesday and during the parade on Friday. They were waiting for this day. And the word I kept hearing was unbelievable. There were so many people flooding the streets of Los Angeles on Friday. It was incredible. But um, just going back to the game for a second, I'm not gonna lie to you. When they were down 5-0 going into the top of the fifth inning, I thought there was no chance in hell they were winning that game. I was like, okay, like maybe they'll come back and maybe make it 5-3, 5-4. But I was like, okay, like clearly the Yankees have some kind of momentum. Garrett Cole's pitching great, and the Dodgers, yeah, can they come back? Absolutely. They have the offense to do it, and they have the I don't give a F mindset to do it. But I was like, okay, it looks like the Yankees are going to win this game, and we're going to have a game six to clinch it at home Friday night. I wasn't ready to throw in the white flag and call it game, but I was very close to that point. I was like, okay, well, it looks like we are going to need a game six. But that fifth inning is going to go down as in history of one of the best innings in Dodger history. It is. Yankees had all the momentum. Judge, um, Chisholm hit the home run, and then Stanton hit the home run. The Yankees had everything going. Garrett Cole had a no hitter going into that inning. No hitter. Dodgers hadn't gotten a run yet, and for them to crawl all the way back and tie the game. Now, part of it was because of Yankee mistakes. Listen, that image of Garrett Cole pointing to Anthony Rizzo while Mookie Betts is busting his ass down the line to get to first, that's gonna live in my head for the rest of my life. Just all of a sudden, within a half hour later, you find yourself in a tie ball game, and you have a chance to end it in five. And for the Dodgers to do that, incredible, remarkable. Because I've been on the other side of that. I've seen Dodger teams blow leads like that, and look like they're the ones that are playing scared. The Dodgers didn't do that. They were playing very happily, very freely. And again, we don't give a F. Like, fine, whatever. You can hit as many home runs as you can. We know that it's a 9 inning game, and we know that the mistakes are coming. And sure enough, that's what happened. Um, like I said, I'm so happy for everybody. Um, Freddie Freeman, unbelievable. Without question, your MVP of the World Series. Homered in 4 of the 5 games, put the team on his back. Walker Buehler, what a moment for him to get the final 3 outs and to win the World Series. And I have that picture, and if I see it somewhere, I'm getting that framed where he's going like this and Will Smith is going like this. Oh my God, that was such a beautiful picture. Um, little funny, little side thing too, little nugget for you. The last 3 MVPs for the World Series for the Dodgers, the last 3 World Series MVPs for the Dodgers have all worn the number 5.
Wow.
Oral Hershiser 1988, 55. Corey Seager 2020, number 5. Freddie Freeman 2024, number 5. Kind of spooky, but
A little bit.
if you're gonna wear the number 5 for the Dodgers, you've got a lot to live up to. I mean, listen, for right now, Freddie Freeman has it for the foreseeable future, but um, this postseason run changed everybody's life in that Dodger clubhouse. Mookie Betts is the only active player now with 3 world championships, and he's on the right path to Cooperstown. And I'm sorry, Red Sox fans, that is the worst trade in MLB history. It is. It is. And I'm sorry, Red Sox fans, but it's true. He's going to the Hall of Fame wearing a Dodger hat. I'm sorry. He is. He is. Freddie Freeman, we can have the conversation about that. Maybe he goes with no cap, but because he's a Hall of Famer. But if he gets one more with the Dodgers, I think he might be leaning towards that beautiful Dodger blue. I don't know, but um, Dave Roberts, I have to give that man my flowers, man. He changed everybody's thoughts about him because going to the postseason, he remember this is a guy who had not had a contract yet. Had not had a contract. The Dodgers wanted to see how this season would have went. Now, honestly, I think they would have brought him back anyways, but maybe if they lost to San Diego, maybe something would have changed. Maybe it's like, okay, hey, you know what? It's time to go to another direction. But he saved his career with the Dodgers, and he is now a future Hall of Fame manager. Two World Series championships, four trips to the World Series, eight NLCS appearances. He's been to the postseason every single year since he's been at the helm since 2016. He's won the NL West every year except in 2021 when the Giants had a miracle bullshit season when they got 107 wins and the Dodgers lost the division by one game because they got 106. But it didn't matter because they beat them in a best of five that same season, anyways. So, Dave Roberts, Hall of Fame manager. And listen, I understand he didn't do anything in this World Series, but Shohei Ohtani, boy, was that you can that is top five signings in the history of the Dodgers right there. And let me explain to you why. I understand that he really didn't do much in this World Series. Part of it was because he was on a banged up shoulder and he couldn't really, get that swing right. But um, I didn't say this. I don't think I said this to you, but I said this to other people that were Dodger fans, and I said it to myself. Um, it was very important to me that the Dodgers would have to win the World Series this year. And I'll explain to you why. When they signed Shohei Ohtani to the 10-year, $700 million contract, literally a year ago next month, we're almost there to the year point, which is crazy. Um, you reset the window that you have to compete for a world championship. I don't think it was closing if you didn't, even if you didn't get Otani, but with Otani, you reset the window and you reset the time to try and win more rings. To me, it was very important that the Dodgers would win the World Series this year with Shohei Ohtani because they brought him here not because he's the best player in the world, but because they believe that he was the difference, and the Dodgers believe that if they were to get Shohei Ohtani, that he would be the one that would put him back over the top. And in year one, he did that. Did he have a great World Series? Absolutely not. He had a good NLCS. He had a historic 50-50 regular season. And I really believe, now listen, this might just me being crazy because listen, there's a lot of good baseball teams and, baseball's in a great spot where there's a ton of teams that have a chance to win. But you can make a very good argument that by the Dodgers winning this World Series in Otani's year one, this could potentially be the start of a dynasty. I know it's crazy to say that. But listen, they've already got 2 out of 5, and I believe with Otani, they won it in his first year. I believe that this could be a start of, hey, we could win 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 2 out of 3, something like that, something along those lines. Because Otani is there and they help get this team over the top. And I would have said disaster had they not won it this year because your whole point was bringing Otani here was you thought that he was going to be the reason why to get you back over the top. And had you lost, could have been detrimental to this franchise. It's going to have been like, okay, we signed Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the world, and it still wasn't enough to win. What more do we have to do? And in year one, the Dodgers did what I hoped they would do, and they won in Shohei Ohtani's first year. Talk about the dream season, literally. It didn't feel like that during the regular season because I mentioned to you throughout the season that, yeah, the Dodgers were winning games and they're a good baseball team, but there's another level that I know this team can play at. And I hadn't seen it all season. Well, I'm glad I didn't see it until the final month of the season because everybody contributed and they showed out at the right time. Um, they put it together at the right time. They got great starting pitching, which I think that's going to be forgotten. 10, 15 years from now. Not in Dodgerland, but in general. Like, they won a World Series with 3 starting pitchers. They won with Jack Flaherty, who, when they traded for him, he wasn't supposed to be the ace or the top arm in that rotation. It was supposed to be Tyler Glasnow. It was supposed, but again, he got hurt. Um, Yamamoto, year one, had an injury that kept him out for like a month and a half, almost 2 months. People were wondering how was he going to adjust to MLB. I think he adjusts pretty good. Had a terrific postseason, and he's 2-0 against the New York Yankees. And Walker Buehler, he is one of the best stories of this Dodgers season, coming back from his second Tommy John. And he came back in June, and he wasn't no good. He said it himself. He sucked, and he had to get some time off again with an injury, but to kind of just reset his mind and fix some mechanics. And then he came back like in late August because we needed arms. We had no starting pitchers. Everybody was hurt, and little by little, you saw him make adjustments, and you saw him get better with his stuff. And boy, did he pitch. He hit lightning in a bottle again, and he put it all together exactly when we needed it. When we needed it. And he had arguably the 3 best starts of his career. I'm so happy that he was the one to close out that World Series last week because he deserves it. He's been in the Dodger organization. They drafted him. He went through the farms. He went through the minor league system. At one point, this dude was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Throwing 99, 100. He was the. We thought that he was going to be the new ace, the new Clayton Kershaw for 10, 15 years. Some things happen. You get hurt. But for him to put it all together in a short amount of time, pitch very well in the postseason, and to close it out to win the World Series, remarkable. I hope they bring him back. I really do. I'm going to be so upset if Walker Buehler's not a Dodger next year because he screams Dodger. He's not afraid on one day's rest with a pending free agency to go out there and say, hey, I'm available to pitch. If you need me to get 3 outs, I'm ready to go if you need me. He's not selfish, unlike a certain guy who plays in Texas. That was the reason why Walker Buehler had to go through another Tommy John surgery and kept him out for 2 years. Unselfish. Just listen, I could be here all night. I really could. Teoscar Hernandez, again, I told you, behind Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto, probably the 3rd best signing that the Dodgers had this season. And he was literally in tears at the parade rally at Dodger Stadium. He was so happy, and he's really grown, and he's really fallen. Dodger fans have really fallen in love with Teoscar Hernandez, and I really hope. Now, listen, it's not going to be cheap because he's not going to be on a 1-year, $22 million contract anymore. You're going to have to pay the man. But again, I'm not the one spending the dollars. I'm not the one spending the dough, but I'm going to say it right now. Pay the man. Pay the man. Keep him in Dodger blue. He wants to be here. We'll get to Garrett. We'll get to Juan Soto in a second, who's had some other things to say after the game. Teoscar Hernandez wants to be here. He wants to stay here. He wants to be here. He feels like he fits very well in this city and with these fans. So I hope they keep him around. But this was an all-around organizational win. Everybody. Now, listen, obviously you can say that about every team every year who wins the World Series, but especially this year. It starts at the top with Andrew Friedman, Brandon Gomez having a terrific, trade deadline. You can make an argument that is one of the best trade deadlines ever. You got Michael Kopech, Jack Flaherty, and Tommy Edman all in one trade deadline. And you didn't have to really break the farm system to do that either. Tommy Edman was your NLCS MVP. Jack Flaherty saved his pitching rotation from, probably not even making it this far. And Michael Kopech, who nobody wanted to touch just because he had a high walk ratio and he could be a little wild with his pitches. The Dodgers said, hey, I think we can fix him and fix a couple things. And he was a lethal part of the Dogs in the bullpen this year. So this is an organizational championship, from the front office to the coaching staff to the players on the field. everybody should be proud of themselves for what they accomplished this year. And, you know, I'll close with this and we'll see where we go from here. But when the Dodgers won in 2020, that was for my generation who had never seen their favorite ball club win a championship ever before. And that was for people who were not able to see the Dodgers win again in 1988, like my uncle, who wanted to see the Dodgers win again before he passed away. Wanted to see just one more, didn't make it. So that 2020 is for my generation and for the people of Dodger fans that unfortunately were not able to see 2020. 2024. This is for every Dodger fan, and this is for all you haters out there. Not only can we do it in a 60-game season, but we showed the entire baseball world that we can do it again. This time in 162 games. World champs, man, for the 8th time. Unbelievable. What a season. I'm so happy, man. You can't. You listen, I'm sure everybody saw the video that I posted. Like, it means something to me, man. Like, it does. Like, you're so invested with this team, literally for like 8 months out of the season. And it's more personal for me because I work at the stadium. I'm there every home game. So I'm there in, March and April when, like, listen, there's a ton of Dodger fans, but not everybody's paying attention. Like, I'm seeing everything. So, for the Dodgers to cap this year off with a championship, it means the world to me. And um, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that they actually were able to pull this off. Unreal.
Beautiful way to cap that out. Beautiful. Look at
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I mean, if if that fifth inning wasn't enough for Yankee fans, I don't know what will be. Devastating, obviously. But we are now on to the off season, and there's
Really
been
have to.
yes, we
I
do
want to stay in 2024. I don't want to leave.
for the other 29 franchises that there are.
Yeah,
We
who
have
cares about them?
to. So, just to kind of cap out some of them, Garrett Cole opted out of his contract. There were a little bit of weird talks there for a little bit, and then I guess Brian Cashman came out and said there's no extension. However, he basically opted out for no reason because he's back with the Yankees on a 4-year deal. He's going to get paid $36 million. It's going to be the same exact contract that he signed here with. And that's what he's going to end with. I guess the Yankees weren't comfortable going to that 10th year, which, hey, sometimes I feel like if it was anybody else, he may have had to go to that 10th year, but because it's Garrett Cole and he's expressed how much he loves being here, he kind of just swayed to stay. So Garrett Cole's back with the Yankees. Um, we got Michael Walker staying with the Royals.
Yes.
I
Extension.
like this move. I like this a lot. It's pretty cheap too. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it was 3 year 51 if
That's
I'm
what I
not.
thought it was too.
Yeah, has a club option for 2028. So one of the oldest veterans in the game stays in. He seems like he found a home there. Um, that unless there's anything else, I think that is all the moves that have like the big moves that have happened so
Jorge
far.
Soler
That
got
is
traded to Anaheim. Poor guy.
right. Yes, Jorge Soler, his short little, however many stints he's been with the Braves now, um, is now over. He's on his way to Anaheim. He's going to play with the Angels, and he's going to reunite with Ron Washington out there. I think I do like this move for the Angels. Um, it gets a veteran bat in that lineup, especially a team that's probably trending towards getting younger here. So good for them. We'll see where that goes. Um, Cody Bellinger's staying with the Cubs. He decided to not exercise his player option, and he's staying with the Cubs, which I like that move for both parties too.
Yeah.
Um, I think he belongs in Chicago. Um, Other than that, I don't think that there's been much of free agency. Obviously, we have a lot to look forward to here. And you kind of touched on it earlier. We'll go into the free agent pool a little bit here and kind of wrap this whole thing together. Um, Juan Soto had some comments after the game that me personally,
Yes.
I didn't like these too much. He's open to all 30 ball clubs. Which, hey, listen, I can't blame the guy. I can't. As much as I want him to remain a Yankee and be back here next year, um, hey, you turned down 444. You gotta if that's what you're playing for, man, then you go get your bag. That's what I look at. We'll see where it goes. Obviously, we won't get any predictions yet. It's not even 2 weeks after the season ended, so not even a week. So let's pump the brakes there for a little bit. But you had said that you had some thoughts on his comments there, so I'll let you go ahead.
Listen, I understand. I mean, he's a Scott Boras client. Let's start there. So that is he. Every Scott Boras client is media trained.
Yeah,
Look at Garrett Cole. He's media trained. Um, After 2019, they just lost the World Series to the Nationals. Garrett Cole was not in any Astros gear. He was in a Scott Boras hat, corporation's hat, and he basically, you know, media trained. Said not the same thing as Juan Soto, but just hey, like basically saying if the Astros want me back, they're gonna have to pay up. And this is the same thing with the Yankees.
yeah,
I mean, Yankee fans shouldn't be surprised because never, Juan Soto was never going to sign anything during the season.
no,
He was never going to, and he has earned the right to test free agency. It seems like we've been waiting for this guy to test free agency for like 10 years, or like he's only 26, but it seems like he's been in the league for like 10 years already.
yeah,
But um, listen, I understand, why Juan Soto said that, but you got to remember who you're talking to here. Like every Yankee fan just watched their team blow the World Series, blow a 5-0 lead. They just got kicked in the nuts. And then Juan Soto, half an hour after the game, yeah, I'm open to all 30 teams. What? Like, listen, I don't expect Juan Soto to say, yeah, I love it here. I hope I'm come back. Like, I don't expect him to say that because that's not a Scott Boras answer. But um, can you give the Yankee fan just a little something? A little something, to like give them some kind of hope
because I
to
mean,
be like,
he was already talking in past tense.
yes,
I
like,
loved my time being here. I
yes,
loved being a Yankee. Like, dude, that's not what we want to hear after our team just freaking lost the World Series. It's already hard enough that we got to watch the Dodgers celebrate on our field, and now we have Juan Soto in the media room talking like that. It's not the greatest thing in the world.
and listen, I know no Yankee fan wants to hear this right now, but there is a number that the Yankees will not go to. I could promise you that right now.
One hundred
There's a
percent.
number. There's a number that the Yankees are going to tap out.
Yeah, and I'll end on this when with the whole Juan Soto talk. It's a number that I don't see the Yankees reaching, so that will give you a little bit of a insight into my projections and where my predictions and kind of see where it's at. So I think it's going to be a number that the Yankees will not reach, and I'll keep it there. But I do have a few teams in mind that I do believe. But yeah, we'll see see how that goes. But yeah, no, that's definitely not what we wanted to hear. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's just two completely teams. Listen, I understand both circumstances are different. Teoscar just came off of winning a World Series, but he's already saying, "I love it here. I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere else." I understand it's not apples to apples because Soto's just coming off a frustrating loss. And can I tell you something? Now that the series is over, I can talk about him. I love watching Juan Soto play. I've said this beforehand, but every time he steps into the box, I think he's gonna hit a home run. I
Hmm.
really do. I feel like that. I felt like that with Francisco Lindor. I felt that with Fernando Tatis Jr. And every player that the Dodgers had to beat this round had every team that the Dodgers had to beat in this postseason had one or two players that scared the shit out of me. And Juan Soto was one of those players. Every time he steps in the box, I feel like he's gonna hit a home run. And the Dodgers were pitching around him so much that series too. They were not throwing him anything to hit. I think he only struck out like twice the whole series.
Yeah.
I think. Other than
It,
that, he was either putting the ball in play or taking his walks.
him and Stanton were the only two producing on offense. I mean, it got to be a very dreadful watch because if you pitch around those two, you're fine. And from the articles that have been coming out over the last week, that's exactly what the Dodgers wanted, and that's what they got. If the rest of the lineup's not producing, then you know that's all you got to do. And Dodgers executed it perfectly, and they did what they had to. Um, but yeah, no, it's been a joy watching Juan Soto in a Yankee uniform. I'll tell you that. It has been the way that guy just his plate discipline, the way he hits the ball. It's just he's true 5 tool player, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. And I hope he stays.
Now, will that go away if he plays for another team next year, particularly the one across town?
Uh,
Will that
yeah,
go away a little bit?
a
It's like,
little bit.
screw this guy now.
At the end of the day, I'm a baseball fan, right? I love watching good baseball. I absolutely love it. I love to I love like baseball is the one sport that I can flip on the TV and watch any team play at any time. I don't care who's playing. I don't care if it's an Oakland Athletics game. Sorry, Athletics.
Not
That came out.
anymore.
I don't care if it's an Athletics game against the Colorado Rockies. If it's some good baseball going on, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So yeah, it's gonna be hard watching him leave and probably give me a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Juan Soto. But at the end of the day, I'm still a baseball fan, so I'll enjoy watching him still, but not as much as I did this year.
I get it. Makes sense. And let me get your thoughts on this. I don't know if you heard it, but Joe Kelly did not hold back about his thoughts about the Yankees. Um, he basically said that the Yankees were like the eighth or
Eight.
ninth best team. Yeah, just wanted. I listen. Listen. I like. I listen. Joe Kelly. I, at the end of the day, dude, you threw no pitches, and you were basically sabotaging this team for a little bit there. There's a reason why you weren't on the postseason roster. So, um, maybe don't talk like that much. But I mean, Jesus, man, like the Yankees still won 90 something games. Like, let's not make it seem like they were this horrible team that just happened to stumble into the World Series. Like, I understand maybe they weren't on the level of San Diego, the Mets, some of these other teams, but let's relax a little bit, Joe. I understand the beer might be still flowing, but let's
So
not go that far.
so do I agree with some of his comments? Yeah, 100%. I don't think that the Yankees belonged in the World Series. Um, I would say if they would have met the Astros or Baltimore, I don't think they would have gotten that far. However, eighth or ninth is a little crazy here. We still got to remember, like you said, this is a team that won 90 something games, and they're a team that they're a good team, great team. But if they would have met a few opponents that got bounced, I'll be honest with you, man. Even if we saw Detroit in the ALCS, I don't know how that would have went. And I think we truly did have a cakewalk to the World Series. We had to face the Royals and we had to face the Guardians. If there were some other clubs in there, yeah, I truly don't think we would have made it. However, we still did, and we're still a good ball club. We're not an eighth or ninth best team in baseball here. You know, don't get me wrong. Was he right on some of his comments of how the Yankees played? Yeah, 100%. Eighth or ninth is pushing it a little bit here. Just still remember who you're talking about.
Yeah, and um, again, I listen. I know no Yankee fan wants to hear this right now, but you're a judge collapse in the World Series away from maybe being 3-2 Yankees, or
Yeah,
maybe it being 3-2, like more of a competitive series, 2-2.
easily.
Like, yeah. So, um, yeah. I mean, to put a bow on the rest of the season, listen, it went by really fast. Let me say that. I was I had a moment there after I was done with my shift on Friday where I was just sitting in the reserve level of Dodger Stadium. The confetti had fallen. Almost everybody had left the parking lot already, and I was just sitting there, just kind of taking it in because I'm not going to see Dodger Stadium for quite some time. I'm done. I'm not going to see it again probably till the Fan Fest in January. Which, I mean, listen, that doesn't sound too far away, but when you got the holidays coming, it could be a little long. You know how I feel about the holidays, but um, uh, I had a moment there when I was just sitting down, and I was like, dude, this season went by so fast.
That
Feels like I was just showing up to Dodger Stadium for a damn expedition game against the Angels after a week long trip in Florida. And I was so excited to be back. And it feels like, and in our trip to Cooperstown, like so many things that happened at my job, like it feels like, damn, it went by quick. It went by so fast. I can't believe it.
that it truly did, and I'm glad you had that moment too because um obviously it was not this past Saturday but the one previous. We moved into this house, right? And I have my office set up here, and I was just moving shit the other day, and I was sitting in here, and I looked at some of our shadow boxes, the one from Tampa, and then I looked at the one from Cooperstown, and I had a moment like that too. I was like, geez, man, and there was so much like behind the scenes shit that
Yeah.
happened around the
Yep.
diamond that obviously has not been public, but there's so much shit that went down, man, and it just like it's crazy to look back on, and it's like, wow,
It
this
happened very
season.
early, too, in the season.
It did. It happened extremely early, and obviously personal things that both of us experienced too. It just it made this season fly by. But it's been one to remember. I will always remember the 2024 season. Although the Yankees lost the World Series, it will always still be nothing but great memories. Yeah, and we're we're gonna dive right into this free agency starting next week. It's gonna
Yep.
be fun. I mean, this time of year sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's the weather's getting cold. The times just got pushed back for me,
Yeah.
and it's been we're getting into that area where it's like, okay, this kind of sucks. Where's baseball? But we're still here, and we're gonna do a load of free agency stuff. That's gonna be fun. It's free agency is always fun. Stressful depending on what your
Yeah.
team's going on. Uh, my team just came off a World Series loss, and I'm gonna now start stressing about one of our superstars here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but we're gonna be here for every moment, and I can't wait for it.
Same here. Same here. Um, Unless you got anything else, that's going to do it for 101, episode 101.
That's it, man.
That's a wrap for the 2024 MLB season.
Yes, it is.
Um, Baseball will be here again before you know it.
Oh yeah.
We're already in week 10 of the NFL season. Next month is the final month of the NFL regular season, so it's coming. It helps that both of our teams were playing until the final month of final week in October. It
It does.
helps. It
It
helps,
does.
and it's gonna go by quick.
Yes, and now I don't have much to look forward to anymore because my Blackhawks, they're terrible. My Giants are really terrible, and the Heat are just middle of the road there. But however, my wife is big into Penn State football.
There you go.
Maybe we'll get into
Had
that.
to
I
watch
don't
them get slaughtered over the weekend. No, I'm just kidding. I hope she doesn't hear that.
the Ohio State.
Yes, the Ohio State University.
All right, we're getting off
Which?
topic. I think that's gonna do it, man. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Dodgers win the World Series. They're the world champs. You're gonna hear it for the rest of the offseason. Not just you, but whoever listens to this. So
Hey,
be ready.
you're you have every right to.
San Diego can suck it too, by the way. So can Anaheim. Kiss my ass again. You can kiss my ass. Everybody who said we were gonna choke again. For one off season, you can shut the fuck up. Finally. And before we get out of here, Kyle, who's gonna win the election? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Stay
Yeah, we
tuned tomorrow for special election coverage on ATD. You're gonna really see how we feel about this country. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
man,
We're not gonna do that.
that'd be
Kyle
something.
will be at the Trump campaign and I will be at the Harris campaign tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa,
No, I'm just
pump
kidding.
the
We're not gonna do that. We're
brakes.
not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. No,
No, I don't think so. That's
no,
not our forte. We'll stick
no,
to
no, no, no.
baseball.
We'll stay away from that. You know,
We'll stick
I
to
think
America's pastime, the greatest sport there is,
yes,
baseball.
absolutely. All right, that's enough. We'll see you next week. Adios.